This is the Tempus ALS, which is a cardiac monitor that is put out by Philips. Philips purchased Remote Diagnostic Technologies, or RDT, when it became clear that they needed a new product to replace their MRX cardiac monitor, and they bought the Tempus Pro, which is an RDT designed and manufactured. It comes from Europe, and it's been in use with the military for about 7 years now. Last October, the FDA signed off on the Tempus LS, which is the electrical therapy unit, which now makes it available to EMS agencies to use in the field. To give you an idea of the size, this is a standard cell phone, so they are quite small. The Tempus Pro weighs about 7 pounds, and this is about 5 pounds. I'm going to turn them on. And it isn't particularly critical that you understand exactly how these items operate, but you should see the utility, because as a hospital that provides medical control and direction to Lifestar EMS, it would be useful for you to understand the capabilities that our crews have. The monitor on the right, since it's a cardiac monitor, it goes through a whole self-test and an extended startup that takes about 40 seconds. But this electrical unit is designed for immediate use in an emergency situation. So I'm going to press the on button, and I can tell you that it is ready right now to start defibrillating. That's how fast it starts up. The Tempus Pro on the right, I'm going to go ahead and just say I'm going to enter my patient details. And this is going to be, let's say, a 65-year-old male patient. I'm going to turn this off now because we're not going to be defibrillating anybody today. And on the right, I'm going to go ahead and start gathering a set of vitals. So we're going to put an SpO2 on, and I'm going to get a cardiac rhythm in there. And I'm going to collect a blood pressure as well. I have now gathered a set of vitals, and I have acquired a 12 lead, which I'm now going to send to your hospital by clicking on the send button. And then I have also decided that this guy is having a STEMI, so I'm going to start an IV, and I'm placing him on oxygen, and I've also given nitroglycerin. Oops, I almost forgot the aspirin. Now, this is where you come into the picture as a staff member working at a hospital that we transport to, because this is the Corsium interface from which you can see all the data on our monitors. So in your hospital, you would have bookmarked this page. It's any web browser will take it. This is just Google Chrome, but you can use any web browser, and you would have an account set up for your emergency department or your cath lab or both. And all you would do is either at the beginning of your shift or when a crew calls and says we're bringing you a patient, you would log into Corsium, and this is what you would see. This is the monitor. I chose a monitor from Lifestar 831, and as soon as the monitor gathers any data, it starts streaming that data live to Corsium. So when the crew calls in and says, hey, I got a patient that I'm calling in a report on, if you were already logged in, you would already see this on your screen. If not, you log in and you would get this. And all you have to do is click on that one, and you are getting a live view of our monitor in the field, including waveforms, 12 leads, and all interventions. So basically, we have placed this patient on tele for you from the field. So when the crew calls in and says, I'm bringing you a patient and I've connected to Corsium, you can look and see the vitals. So even taking report, you don't even have to ask what's the blood pressure, what's the respiratory rate, what's the SpO2. It is all right there for you. And then when it comes to looking at the 12 lead, I'll just come over to the 12 lead button and click on it, and the doc can take a look at all parts of the 12 lead. It is a 10-second long 12 lead, which covers all leads simultaneously. If the crew is asking for an interpretation, the doc can click on review, and you have an opportunity to click on this button here and give a diagnosis. So we're going to say this is a STEMI, and you can give instructions to the crew, and we can set up any instructions that you want to be on this list. So in this case, you might say bypass the emergency department and go straight to the cath lab, or if non-cath lab hospital, you can say transport to a cath lab capable hospital, and you can enter any notes that you want in there and click on save and send. And that sound you hear is that message that has been transmitted to the monitor with those instructions. So the doc has now given orders to the crew in the field. And I'm going to answer that saying that I have received it, and we have a 15-minute ETA, and the crew has now responded to that. So I'm going to click back on the review, and you can see it says here, received and understood by Lifestar 831 at 8:17, and the ETA is 8:32 a.m. And then you can go back to a live view, or you can ask what other kinds of interventions has been done. Well, let me click on the summary tab, and here we can see that we have an IV, oxygen, nitro, and aspirin have been administered, and the crew can put the dosing of each one of these in as well. There are other capabilities in this interface on Corsium. You can look at the trends over time and see if there's any changing up and down in any of these vitals. But also, if the crew is on, let's say, the scene of a car accident, there is a camera built into this monitor, and they can take a photograph and attach it and send it directly to you. Here I took a photograph of all the monitors that are getting ready to go out to the ambulances, but this could be a photograph of anything from an injury to the mechanism of injury in an auto accident, or anything else that the crew believes the person taking report should see. So imagine Lifestar is bringing you a patient. You got a patient that's on tele. You don't have to ask for the vitals. It's all right there for you. Very convenient and very easy to use, and it costs nothing to the hospital to have this access. So there you have a demonstration of some of the capabilities of the Tempus ALS. All it requires is that you accept a login and password that your emergency department manager would set up, and you keep by the computer that you take reports at, and all it is one click of the button for you to have as much information on that patient as possible. Thanks for watching this video, and I am available for questions. I'll put my contact information in the notes to this video.